Looks good, guys. It is absolutely raining out. I took a risk flying the drone in this weather, but it was worth the shots. Welcome to Applefeather Farm's harvest. It's not a harvest. We're planting. Here we go. We are here in Blominin, guys. Here with Applefeather again. They got their 8R dually going, dual front and back, is what I mean. Going disc harrowing. I just had a lovely chat with the manager and everything, and we might get a little inside look at Applefeather here before the end of the week. So if we do, we do. If we don't, we don't. We'll see how that happens. And yeah. Alright guys, see what happens here next. It's kind of funny. Got into Robbins there this morning. Tidal tractor. Got into Robbins there this morning, and it was like all the outlaws and legends were all there at the same time. It was loud. Anyways, good seeing everyone. Time to mosey on forth. And that was Jeremy, guys. He's doing the old power harrow. Anyways, we're here. Actually, we were here before with the case harrow, but this is quite clay land, so they need power harrowed out to get the break up. Anyways, crazy stuff, right? On to the next thing. Hey guys, we are back in Canning again. They're shooting down there right now, or they're planting soybeans, finishing it off. I guess these are the last couple of fields here. But anyways, that's it for tonight, and I think I'm about to go have some supper. So, alright, Applefeather Farms, later on. Not a bad view. I'm just on the outskirts of Applefeather right now, taking some drone shots of the farm from up high. We'll have them on Facebook sometime. But anyways, guys, I'm having fun here shooting the episode for Applefeather. We've done this a couple times for these guys. They've grown over the years. Our farm's grown too, but they've grown over the years, and I think if you go back far enough to see where our pictures were the last time we were here, this place has amassed some stuff. So anyways, I think I'm going home now, and yeah, I think we might get an inside connection though into there though. Maybe we'll find out the ins and outs on how much they can hold over there for storage and so on and so forth. We'll see. Alright guys, look at that baby behind me. Well, I bet you I got a date with that sometime. We are here at Applefeather. I've been here a couple times, but we're here and we got special permission. We're gonna get a little tour by Vanessa, run around here, and she's gonna show us everything, how it works and how it goes, and a little bit of the family history and everything. So here we go. Where are we at right now? What barn is this?
So these barns are all broilers. We got number 3, number 1, and number 5.
Number 5 is over there.
Yeah,
All right.
red.
Okay. Ooh. Is that the one you guys were putting birds in and the chickens where the metal wasn't even on the sides of it or whatever?
Yeah, so when we built that barn, Roscoe's gave us a deadline.
Yep.
And said it would be done by this date, so we ordered our chicks to be here like the
We
week after.
did the same thing with our new barn.
Yeah, and so the cement got delayed 3 weeks, and some other shit got delayed. Like there was a few rafter beams that were late coming in, and so anyways, the day of our chicks arriving came, and we only had the bottom floor ready, like insulated and stuff, and the metal was on the inside, but the metal wasn't on the outside.
Yep.
And then we put the second floor in our turkey barn.
It worked. It worked.
Had nowhere else.
It worked.
Yeah.
Alright, what's that? Just like workshop shed?
No, this is our old straw barn from before we built that new coverall.
Okay, okay.
So this is where we used to store all our straw.
Which
Now
wasn't far from running
Yeah.
to the barn.
Yeah, now we store all of our small equipment and seed in there now.
Alright, there's the seed.
Yeah. Most of it's gone now. They can't pick
Well,
up all the
should be.
totes.
You ain't done by now, you got problems.
Yep. And then here's the feed mill. Well, so there's the soybean extruder there. Usually there's a tractor sitting there. It's PTO driven.
Oh, okay.
So we extrude all of our own soybeans. And then...
So that gets like funneled over to here somehow, right? Soybeans from like soybean tank.
So there's a tank behind the mill.
Yeah.
That has the raw beans in. So they come in and they get crushed in the hammer mill.
Okay.
And they get held in a big storage tank. And then there's another little storage tank above the feed motor, and then it feeds in the beans. They get cooked to 301 degrees.
Okay.
And then they get cooled by a cross auger system.
Yeah, I've seen the process online. I've always wanted to see it in person, but maybe another time.
We can go in there if you want. That's not biosecure.
Well, we might get in there then. All right, hold on there.
The tractor that was here kind of just...
Things happen in farming, shit happens. That's like the code of farming, shit happens. Oh!
Yeah, the hammer mill's back there, so the beans come in, they get crushed in the hammer mill.
Alright, come in. What, through this thingy?
No, up here.
Alright, yeah, alright.
They come in up there, they go through the hammer mill,
Yep.
and they go up into this holding tank,
Okay.
and then they sit here. There's 2 rotary switches here, so it knows when to fill.
Yep.
And then it goes up into the small tank, up here above the feed motor.
Yep.
There's a little feed motor in the bottom there, so it goes in there and keeps that full.
Yep.
And then it dumps it into this little hopper that goes directly in here, and when the cone's on, it creates pressure. And there's also an auger in there that spins.
Yeah, it squirts the stuff or whatever.
Yep. PTO runs full speed. And then...
Now, do you get a juice from it, too?
No, our oil mixes in.
All right.
You can set up, like Newcomb's has an extruder similar to this one.
Alright, alright.
But they have a stationary 3-phase motor. We don't have 3-phase down here, so that's why we use the tractor.
Alright. And you can run this all by cell phone with, eh?
No.
No?
No, we literally hire a person to sit in the mill and babysit this thing all day.
Well,
all we have...
there is a lot going on here.
Yeah, all we have is we have an alarm. So if it goes outside of temperatures, it'll call one of us.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so it's pressurized friction kind of stuff, and it heats it to 301 degrees, and then drops it in this auger, and there's these fans, cooling fans.
The cooler down.
And it goes up there, and then it drops into this one, and goes all the way up, and then it goes out to the tank.
So as it agitates it, it cools it down.
Yeah, it cools it down quite a bit, and then the fans, anytime we turn this extruder on, there's 2 fans on the tank outside that start automatically, and they run for 12 hours.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not very many people have this in their backyard around here.
Yeah, so this is the feed mill. There, all those little bins are micro ingredients like dical and oleopoultry and salt and all those things.
Okay.
So, and then these two tanks over here are dical and lime. That's our big fat tank. We used to have fat delivered, but they, from what I understand now, they are only doing full truckloads. They're not doing partial truckloads anymore, and we can't hold a whole truck. So it's not cost efficient for us anymore. So we use soy oil now, which just comes in those totes.
Okay. Over there.
Yep. And then on the other side, that big tank there, that's where all the corn comes in and gets milled.
Okay.
And then there's the mixer on the back side.
Okay. All in behind all this. Look at this. It's like spaghetti land, but not spaghetti land.
Yeah. So right here, this is the mixer. We make 100.
Ooh, it's dark in here.
1,000 kgs of feed, so full ton every batch.
Okay.
And it's all scaled. Like this whole section here is on scales. All the tubes are suspended, so they're not touching anything.
So do you like pre-mix your feed ahead, like kind of thing, so you're not, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like you're ahead of schedule, so you're not like just mixing feed as you're throwing it into the barn kind of thing.
We have 2 tanks for each barn.
Okay.
So each tank holds at least 10 ton. Some of them hold 11 for number 5. So we can make 10 ton at a time.
And you guys do turkeys and chickens, so I'm presuming there's a different formula for both?
Yeah, so the computer, it's all automated.
Yeah.
So in the office, there's a program that we use just on your computer where you order the feed, and you can put in all your formulas. So we have broiler, starter, grower, finisher, and withdraw formulas.
Yeah.
And then we also have turkey, starter, grower, developer, finisher, and withdraw.
Awesome.
So we have a whole bunch of different formulas for each one.
Yeah.
And whenever I order a barn, I can order 10 ton at a time. And it'll just keep making tons and dumping them into the blower tank. That's what this is.
Yep. Oh. Okay.
Or the transport tank. If it's going off-site, it goes to the transport tank outside that you saw in front of the computer room. So it can be loaded into the feed truck.
Okay.
But every barn on our farm here has its own blow tube. So each tank has its own blow tube. So number 3, there's 2.
This is
4,
cool.
There's 2.
This is cool.
We just come up and we move the blow tube, and it blows directly to the tank.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is actually cool as shit.
Yeah. If the mill runs all day, I can make probably 20 to 25 ton a day.
Oh, well, that's pretty good actually.
Yeah. If it runs from 8 to 5. Usually it runs through the night too.
So
we
you're
really need to make feed.
If it's running that long, you're have a man here too, eh?
Yeah, during 8 to 5, we have our mill girl here. She sits here and moves the blow tube and keeps the extruder running and sweeps the floor, loads micros, does all that stuff.
Okay.
And then after 5 o'clock, if the mill stops, we get a text message saying that it stopped. So if it stops, then somebody will come up and keep it going. But it runs by itself, basically. It measures.
Nothing too crazy can happen.
Well, yeah, the craziest thing that happens is a motor does. So you have to come up here and
makes
change
sense.
a massive motor, right?
Yeah.
But, or if you run out of ingredients. It said on our
so each one of these things is a different ingredient.
Yeah, so those little white blue bins, those are our big they're kind of micro.
I don't want you telling us your secret sauce.
No, it's broiler grower mix, turkey starter mix, turkey grower mix, and salt.
Okay.
Are in the big bins.
Okay.
And then everything else goes in the little bins except for dical and lime. Those we just get by the truckload, so that's why they have their own tank. But our inventory said we had 1.5 tons left of dical, and we ran out yesterday. So there's a truck coming tonight. But we've just been putting it in with bags. That's why
someone's gonna have to unload it.
Well, they just blow it from outside. There's a tube outside
on the
wall.
Oh,
well,
there you go.
Into it, but it makes it dusty, like really dusty in here.
Well, I guess you kind of would expect that in here, right?
Yeah.
All right. This is cool. Very cool. A lot going on here. A lot more than what I can comprehend. You make it sound easier, but all right. All right. This is cool, guys.
Mixer. It's weighing the mixer basically. So it measures all the micros separately, so it'll put all the micros into a separate bin, which is this one here.
Okay.
So this program is just projecting what that computer is doing, right? So this bin right here, it says what the scale weight is. It'll measure all the micros into that bin, and then it'll dump it into the mixer at a specific point in the mix, and then it'll put the rest of the corn in on top of it, which is pretty cool. But so this is our blower tank and our transport tank. If I clear that load out, move the tube, and order something, then it'll just do it all automatically.
Huh.
So this program here that I'm opening is actually where we order our feed. So I just go in and I select the barn, and it tells me how much of whatever formula it's currently on is left to make for that formula.
Okay.
So I can choose how much I want to make and send it over here, and it will calculate itself how many batches that is. And then when it's done a barn, it does an 100 kg corn flush, so that it cleans it out, so that we don't mix any medications or additives in the feed that the turkeys can't have and the chickens can.
Makes sense.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
And then this page here is just all of our bin scales. So I can even see the scales at Middle Dike and see how much feed is in the tank. So there's 10 ton in this tank, 4 ton in the other tank.
Now I'm not really getting close to our staff because we really don't want to be,
Okay, it's just scales.
But you guys get how it all works. This is kind of like, crazy actually.
And so every time we make
I'm impressed.
Every time we order feed, so for example, this feed was made for barn 5, we made 11 ton, which would have been the equivalent of 11 batches and a flush.
Yeah.
So every time we make feed, we take a sample of that feed and we label it. So we have stickers there that will put the date on and what barn and how many tons were made. And then over here on this wall, we have a clipboard for every barn and a bin with feed samples for every barn. And we keep all of our samples of flock behind. So those ones piled over there are from the previous flock, and these are all the active flocks.
Yeah, we do something similar like that, but it all comes through the loads.
Yeah.
So, very expensive computer. Another expensive computer. This is very impressive, I can't really comprehend it all, really. I'm blown away. I'm kind of speechless.
We have our harnesses for climbing the elevator.
Alright.
So at the top of the elevator there's that big round thing, which all the tubes come out of.
Yeah.
So down here, this little wheel at the bottom here.
Oh, she's gonna show us. It's loud.
This little wheel has numbers on it, and they're each set to a different tank, right?
Yep.
So just press on this and turn the wheel, and it'll turn the chute inside that big round thing, so that it can drop down into whatever tank it needs to go into.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. That's an awful long ways up.
Yeah.
You have ever been up there?
Oh, fuck no. I'd get halfway up the ladder and the fire department would come in.
Yeah, I think
I just freeze.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I'd be in the same position.
Yeah, no.
Cause alright.
So that's our,
what's going on there?
So okay,
It's
so
buttons.
Yeah,
and
buttons.
they're red buttons.
And
So
they're-
I'm a
and
boy.
they're-
I'm
and
like
they're-
press.
You press the red ones, don't press the green ones.
Oh, alright.
So this is the elevator, the drag auger, swing auger, U-drop, and then some unloaders. So the elevator you have to start first. So you have to start everything backwards. So the last thing it's going to do is drop down the tube. There's no auger in there, right?
Yeah.
So you start the elevator first. Then it depends what you're doing. If you're unloading.
Hey, wait a minute. So this is where you guys unload off your corn and everything.
Yeah.
So is there like a pit there, or is this just like a thing?
No. Yeah, the drag auger's here.
Yep.
And then the swing auger. So you would turn those 3 buttons on to be able to unload trailers.
It's the buttons.
Yeah.
Make some cool shit happen.
Yeah. And then if you want to pull corn from, like if we're doing a corn transfer to fill this tank, because this big tank right here beside us is what feeds the mill.
Oh,
So
okay.
when this goes empty, we have to transfer from one of the other tanks. So if we want to do that, if we want to pull from any of the other tanks in this line, we turn on the elevator, then the U-trough, which is the trough going down, and then there's a second panel actually, and then a third panel for a new elevator.
Okay, so
To unload everything.
So it's coming out the bottom too.
Comes out the bottom, it goes in the top.
Oh, well, shit. That's cool. I'm not even seeing that.
Well, let's go.
I want to see that. it comes out the bottom. Oh, look at this.
So every tank has its own unloader, and they all drop into the same truck.
So this is like chain driven or whatever, eh? Like belts. Yeah. Oh shit, look at that. That's cool. What's shiny?
It's brand new. We just replaced it. We used to have like a spinny auger, but they never cleaned out the bottom of it, so we sent like that.
Well, look at all the grain tanks, people. Scrap metal people will be like loving it right now.
Yep. And we have every tank labeled as to what tank it is and also what's in it. So,
okay. Oh, here we go. CSA, safety approved and everything. Got our hard hats on and stuff.
So every tank has one of these.
Yeah.
And we can switch them out whenever we want, so we know what's in that tank. So whenever we start filling the tank, we'll make that appropriate.
That's pretty simple.
Yeah. Very simple. Saves a lot of fuck up. What can we put in that tank? I don't know.
Yeah. I bet you have to though, otherwise it's So, soybeans on one side, corn on the other, or what?
It just depends on, like, we only have 2 bean tanks. The rest of them are corn. That one there is wheat. And then that one is soybeans. And this one right here is soybeans. Everything else is corn.
Okay. Alright.
So this one here is our corn dryer.
So, that's a dryer.
Yeah, that's the dryer.
Alright, I've seen videos of it working, the big tall guy.
Yeah, well, there's different kinds of dryers.
Yeah.
This one's a top dryer.
Okay.
So when we have a wet tank right beside it, so we put the wet corn in there.
How many tons?
How many times what?
Per se. Average.
For what?
In that, like if you were going to cut a day, how many acres do you cut for your wet tank?
It depends. At the beginning of the season, we fill both of our wet tanks. That one on,
Well, you got two then.
yeah, that one on stilts is our big wet tank.
Oh, okay.
And then we have a little wet tank.
Well, then you can go for a while then.
Yeah.
Oh.
So when we start harvest, we start cut a few days to fill it.
Yep.
And then every day we start at lunch and we're done by like 10 o'clock to top everything up every night.
Awesome.
Because the dryer is what slows us down. Not what we can get off the field, but what we can dry in a day.
I think that's what every farmer's problem is, especially if they're drying their grain.
Yeah, so we run this thing 24 hours a day during harvest season. The only time it stops is if it breaks. So we can dry, it's a top dry, so we dump 4 tons of wet corn in the top of the dryer.
Yep.
It dries it, and once it's dry, it dumps it into the holding tank at the bottom. We dry 4 tons at a time. It takes about, on average, 45 minutes per load.
Okay. So when you unload over there with that side unloader, it moves it all the way to fuck over here?
Yeah, so we unload it, it goes up the elevator and dumps it in the wet tank.
Yeah.
Then it comes out the bottom of the wet tank and goes up the grain loop into the dryer.
Okay.
And if we unload it here, in the big one, we unload that with a transport auger, which is actually set up right now for us to empty our big tank because they didn't hook up the door for the center well.
Okay.
So we can't open the center well, so we're emptying it out the sides right now.
Yep.
We have that set up. Dump it into a transport auger right into the wet tank. Then we haul it all the way down here, up the elevator, into the small wet tank, and then up the grain loop into the dryer.
Awesome.
And then after it's done in the dryer, we move it into a dry hoist.
What an auger move.
Right?
Yeah.
And my son.
Well, we see your dad all the time.
Yeah, well, he's usually out in the combine, right? So we're here unloading trailers and moving stuff around.
He usually comes out.
He tells us where to put them.
I've also heard him cranky too.
What?
I've also heard him cranky too.
Who?
Your dad.
Yeah, when he gets stressed.
Yeah.
So do I, though.
But if you had all this shit going on, I'd be stressed too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright.
If you see from the aerial shot, we have our mill and number 3 as our front row of barns to the
Yep.
road. Then our...
I'll even sneak, I'll put it in. Keep talking, keep talking. I'm gonna put a picture in of the drone shot.
Okay.
Alright, like,
All right.
like so it'll spot right in right now.
Yeah, you just put like arrows and shit.
Yeah, like
okay.
I'll put the drone shot in right now. You won't even see my hand. We're just talking.
Okay.
Alright,
Gotcha.
and then you'll be saying, alright, and then
Yeah.
people will get what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, so then the second row of barns, starting on the left side, like you're reading,
Yep.
there's what looks like one really long barn, all connected together. That's our turkey barns.
Yeah.
There are 3 barns that
Yep.
are separate, but it's what's called a flow-through barn. So we have 2A in the middle,
Yep.
2C on the left-hand side, and 2B on the right-hand side. So what happens is our poults come into 2A, every is 2B, and the other side is 2A.
Awesome.
And then 2C here has its own office.
Alright. Alright. Alright.
All
Alright.
good? So 2A is in the middle,
Trying to get all this straight. Alright.
2A is in the middle, right?
Yeah.
And then when they get to 3 weeks old, we move them to 2C. Then we get new poults, and when they turn 3 weeks old, we move them to 2B. And then we get new poults and they go to 2C. New poults, 2B. And they just go back and forth. So we have 2 production barns and 1...
She said she was worried about a camera and all this stuff. She seems to be handling it just fine. Alright, guys.
So that's why all these tubes are above the driveway. These are all our blow tubes going to the feed tanks. They literally go through some of the barns.
So, yeah, remember those cool pipes we seen it on the wall? And I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, that's them going.
Some of them, the rest of them are down there.
Oh yeah. So it looks like wires, but they're not. Yeah, I see them going across. Yeah.
They have wires.
Yeah. That's cool. Like, you imagine?
This is how we
Like,
run the
just-
feed truck. We
You know, yeah, I want feed today. Like a switch.
I can order feed from my phone. All we have to do is come up and move the blow tube.
Yeah. No feed truck, bull crap.
We
Them
do
telling
have
you
a
they're
feed
gonna.
truck. That's what I was trying to tell you. This is our transport
Yeah,
tank.
Yeah, you were
so we'll
saying
load
that.
the truck to go down a middle dike, but it's broken right now.
Yes, because you have other barns not in this
Not here.
location.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Three broiler barns.
So you haul your feed with the feed truck? Yes. Alright.
I don't.
So that's all chicken.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Down the road is all chicken. The
So-
only turkeys we have are right here. These 3 barns. This is it.
So are we talking like down the road by like...
Middle dike road.
Okay.
Right across from, I think it's Garrett's.
Yeah, the red barn.
Yeah.
The red barn.
I emptied that corn tank this morning, and now it's all over the ground. Looks like someone.
See, like she told me to record people's disasters.
Yeah, here's another one. See what happens. I'm assuming that the tube just fell off, and then corn started pissing everywhere.
Yeah,
And
shit happens.
we were all bringing in chicks, so nobody was here to supervise it.
Aww.
And then when we were done bringing in chicks, someone clearly came and turned it off.
Alright, so everyone knows exactly where we are here right now, just from the shot. Once they see this stuff, they're like,
Yeah,
oh.
so this middle burn is the end of the turkey burns, and then
Ooh.
this one in the back here is number 4. It's our second newest burn.
Hey, you got 2 of these trailers now, don't you?
Yep, second one is somewhere. I don't even know if we picked that up yet.
No, I don't think you
Not
have.
nostrums, yeah.
I've seen it. It's impressive. It looks like this one.
Except this one has a belly dump with hydraulic chutes. The other one is a gravity trailer, like our big ones.
So it
This
has
shit
the chute
sucks.
out on the side.
This shit sucks because our swing auger can barely get underneath it. Like, we literally have to, when we're doing it, we have to put the tractor in crawl at like 0.5 kilometers an hour and get out and let it roll forward while we pull the swing auger under it.
That would suck. So could that be cured with bigger wheels?
If it was higher off the ground, yeah.
But then it would be way more unstable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that thing's high enough off the ground.
Yeah,
Thank you very
so
much.
you gotta be smart too, right?
Mhm.
Alright. So these are more of these pipes, so they're going right through the barn, eh?
Yeah, they go right through the barn to number 4, and then they go over the barns to number 5.
And that's how they're moving their feed from... Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so see, we have 2 cyclones on the top of every tank,
Ooh.
and it just...
Ooh, this is the pretty new barn. I'm like, hey, this looks pretty good.
Yeah, brand new.
Yeah.
Built in 2020. 2020.
Wow. I'm like, what's that across the
Not
road?
brand new.
I thought it was a
not
hose,
as brand
but
new
just
as
shed.
your number 5, which is a cop off of our number 5 on
Well, you know. It's a chicken barn. It's a chicken barn.
Cleaning out number 1 right now.
Chicken barns are fun, but we all really like the gear and the equipment. No one's watching us because they want to see chicken barns. They do, you know, the people who really care about chicken barns, but the people really watching right now want to see gear.
Well, you know what? All the gear is for the chickens.
Yes,
We literally
the chickens
do all of
pay
that
for
stuff.
it all.
No, we literally do all that stuff to feed them.
Well, that too, but then they're paying for all of it, all too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we run, including our wheat, we run 2,000 acres a year, and that's all for bedding.
1,000 acres.
Bedding for the chickens, corn and soybeans for the feed.
Yeah.
That's what we, and then all those tanks we're holding corn. That's enough corn to do us a full year. That's all we do is just to be self-sufficient.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
You're not paying the high cost of what everyone else is paying right now. So if you do the math, whatever your math would be.
If we have extra corn at the end of the year, we can sell it to another mill for.
Now that's what
way
makes sense
more
to
than
me,
we
and
pay
I always
for
thought would be like the cool part if I ever per se had that option. Is the fact that yeah, you could like overproduce per se,
Yeah.
and then sell that off
Yeah,
and
that's
make
why
money.
We built that massive new tank, our biggest tank we built just because we built number 5, and we needed that much more corn to feed them for a year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, look at all the bread tanks. Look at all the tanks. I didn't even notice it. That's cool.
So then the last little piece of our farm is down here. We have our old coverall, which was the first coverall we built. That's just equipment storage.
Yep.
Pull our combine in there at night or whatever.
Put the combine and everything there. Oh,
Yep.
whole feed trailer.
Yep. That's because the truck is actually in the shop right now.
That's gonna be in the video.
Yep. There you go. She just got back. We just did the dike. It's our last cornfield to plant.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, we've just been waiting because we had to do some drainage
Alright.
stuff down there.
And we got the workshop.
Yeah, and this is the shop. So in there we have 2 full-time mechanics, and they service our gear 24/7.
Full time.
Yeah. And then here, this barn here.
You guys are pampered. You're living like the posh life here.
That's not even enough. If I could have 3 mechanics, I would, because between the barns and the mill and all the gear, like they're busy 24/7. You should see their list. We have an app to keep track of their tasks. They have so much to do.
Wow. Well, yeah, imagine.
It's got a code.
And you guys are so close to the road here. I'm not gonna, I will say it in a way, you guys are so close to the road here. You probably have to deal with a little bit of bullshit.
Yeah, we've had, this year alone, we had over 1,000 liters of fuel taken.
There you
We had
go.
our fuel truck, we have
There you go.
We have a slip tank on
Rodney.
the back. We have a slip tank on the back of my old truck.
Finish her!
That holds 400 liters.
Yep.
And that was drained one night, and then we had a tractor sitting a tractor was sitting at our Meeks barns.
Yep.
In the driveway, and that tank was drained. They siphoned it.
It's hard times in the Maritimes.
Yep.
Alright, I'm not even going to ask you any questions. You just do it the way you want to do it.
Alright, so 1963, the farm was established by my Opa and my Oma. They came down from Holland. That's where the name De Graaf comes from. It's a really Dutch name. So they came down from Holland, bought this property, including the farmhouse, but the farmhouse wasn't as big. We've added onto it probably 4 times now since Opa purchased it. And then all that was here when he bought the farm was the pheasant barn. I don't even know if it was here when he bought it, but what Opa did with his time was he had the pheasant barn and the pheasant run, which is in the picture that you have.
Yep.
That will be displayed.
Yep.
So he had the pheasant barn and the pheasant run.
It just popped up, didn't it?
Yeah, and the farm.
The magic of computers.
The magic of Disney.
Yeah.
So he had that, and then there was a 4-decker barn across the road that had turkeys in the top 3 floors, and then I'm told cows in the bottom. That was some time ago that I was told that though, so I don't know if that's true, but that's what I've told the barn was used for. And then the turkeys were also free run across the road in a turkey run. There was also a tobacco kiln that we had here, so at some point they grew tobacco.
I love tobacco.
Yeah. And we also had a horse pasture behind the house here. So there was all that, and then when my grandfather took it over, don't know what year he did that, but when he took it over, there was also apple orchards There was also apple orchards, right?
I think everyone had apple orchards
Yeah.
at one point or another in the valley.
Yeah, it was actually started with the apple orchards and the pheasants, so that's where Applefeather comes from, and the turkeys. So.
Ah, there! I didn't even know that. I just learned that. There,
Yeah.
there, that's where it all comes from.
Yeah, so that's how they named the farm.
Okay.
And then, so when my grandfather took it over, he got rid of the pheasants at some point and built number 1. So that was the first barn of our complex up there.
Yep.
And then he built 2B after what we call 2B now. After that was our first turkey production barn.
Yep.
And then after that we built 2A, so we could have a brooding pen. And
Yep.
then 2C was after that. So that was Grampy's line of barns. And he also continued with the apple orchards after moving the turkeys inside and whatnot. What was inside that? Yeah. So then my father, Nick DeGraff, took over the farm from my grandfather at some point. His first barn, the first thing he did was he built number 3, which is our 1-story barn.
Yep.
And then after that, he built the mill and some silos and whatnot.
And that's your father, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
My father, yeah.
Yep.
And then he built, after that, I think it was the shop. At some point, we tore down the big barn that was across the street here. We just put a coverall there.
Yep.
So then he built the shop as well. I think that was in like 2011-ish. And then built number 4 and number 5. Then we built number 4 and number 5, which is behind the original row of barns.
Yep.
And then after, just recently, we built this coverall with the storage for the bales and whatnot.
The fancy white thing.
Yeah, and the extruder was built, added to the mill at some point. And then the last thing we did was put up a new elevator and a 47-foot corn tank. We've also acquired a lot of gear over the years for our farmland that we've also acquired. We turned all the orchards, pulled out all the orchards and turned them into cornfields.
A lot of work.
Yeah, a lot of work, yeah. So Dad's...
Easier said than done.
Yeah, Dad's pretty much quadrupled the size of the farm since he took it over, because there was only, 2 barns standing, well, one row of barns, the turkey barns and 1 broiler barn. And we also have barns down the road. So
Yeah.
at one point we had, before we built number 4 and number 5 here, we had an existing number 4 and number 5. This is actually our 3rd number 4 barn. There was a number 4 and a number 3 that burnt down. So then we built number 3 here. And then we had another number 4 that we purchased from our cousins.
Yep.
As well as our old number 5, which was a 3-story barn that we also purchased from our cousins. And then one of them fell down, the other one's out of commission, being used for wood storage now. And we built these 2 new ones here.
Ta-da!
Yeah, we also bought some barns from Meeks on Middle Dyke Road.
Yep.
So that's those barns.
The red
down
barns.
The road. Yep, the red barns. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's where we are today.
There's too much to mention, really.
Yeah.
If you really want to go down
Yeah,
this
I wanted to
road.
get the brass tacks. I can go real deep in there.
Yeah, that's why I was like, we could be here a
We
while.
could be here like 2 hours.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the sum of it. That's the succession, and then I'll be the 4th generation along with my brother here.
Yes. Anything to say?
No.
Perfect.
So yeah, this is our humble abode.
Well, right on. Thanks, guys.
No problem.
Right on.
day. Pack it in and go to town when the sun goes down, 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 down. And do the tomcat prowl when the sun goes down, 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 down. I've been a punching out a clock since 15. I've been a living on a working wage. You keep paying me and I keep lifting. I keep lifting till the end of the day. If I get in and go to town